Today we are on Discourse, Divine Discourse 25, the 4th of May 2020, a Monday, and the Hindu calendar, Sharvari Nama Samvatsar, Uttarayan, Vasant Rutu, Vaishakha Mas, Shukla Paksh, and Dwadasi. Dwadasi means the 12th day. It's number 12 in Sanskrit. So day before, we were studying the fourfold qualifications of a spiritual seeker, by which we were trying to assess ourselves. Primarily, do we have all the qualities which the Shastras and the Vedas have prescribed? And further, if we do have all of them, then to what extent do we have these qualities? So that if there is anything further, we could improve upon them. And there we studied that the four important qualifications were Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka, the first one. Second one was Viragaha, means Vairagya, a decent amount of dispassion. Third one was the six wealths in terms of your habits and your character. Shama, and five more, which are Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. So we did study to quite a large extent about Samadhana, which we need to discuss a little more about that. And then we come to Mumukshutvam. So briefly now, why are we trying to do all this? See, anything in life, when you want to achieve, what is there primarily? There is a desire. Otherwise, nobody would want to even do that, isn't it? Any aspect, it could be singing, it could be dancing, it could be cooking, it could be learning a musical instrument, or it could be learning a field of science, biology. Any aspect, secular knowledge, is all driven by a desire to learn, desire to possess that knowledge. Now here, the fourth aspect is nothing but that desire, mumukshutvam. And what is this desire? This is the desire for God realization. Bubukshutvam is a desire for worldly involvement. A bubukshu is one who is extremely involved in the world. He wants power, he wants money, he wants fame, he wants positions. That is the bubukshu. Mumukshu is, I just want to move towards God, where he starts moving inward. Otherwise, our entire sphere of life is only we are turned outwards. We have never looked inside us. And now this particular spiritual journey will make you turn inward. And when you start turning inward, you will start learning about your own self. This entire Vedanta is only and only studying yourself. There's nothing else we are studying. And this true self, what is your true nature? What is your true self? And why should we be studying this? This is primarily to reach the highest abode, which uh, one cannot even think of. And that is what is the highest abode. It is told about the by the scriptures. Alaukika Vishaya Veda Pramanam. Any non-secular or unworldly thing is only told by the Vedas. The rest all is told by various aspects of knowledge. This happened about 60, 70 years ago. There was one gentleman in Gujarat, a very bright person by name Trivedi. Now what happens is, he during those days, whatever were the um, civil services examinations in India, he had topped those examinations. This is a true story. And then the government said, okay, now we need an expert to go to London and basically learn from them, because by then we had our independence. Learn from them as to administration and overall management of the country, parliamentary acts, all these aspects. So they send him. Those days it was known as ICS in London. So he goes there. He studies everything. And after his 2 years of study, when he was returning, one of his friends tells him, hey, you are from India. Why don't you go and meet Max Muller, the great philosopher, an English philosopher, who had translated all the Upanishads, major Upanishads and our scriptures in English and into Germany also, German language. So he's here in London. Why don't you meet him? It's a rare opportunity since you come from the land of sacred India. And he's only and only doing this job. So he says, okay, why not? And he goes there to meet Mr. Max Muller. Now there the situation with Max Muller is, he is translating, as usual, some scriptural text into English. He is not able to find a word appropriate in English which matches the depth of what it is in Sanskrit. So he is scratching his head and he is in that thought. Now, as he was in that process, his office boy comes in and tells him, sir, somebody by name Trivedi has come to meet you from India. Oh, his joy knew no bounds, because he understands the meaning of Trivedi. Trivedis are one who have mastered the three Vedas. Dvivedis are one who have mastered the two Vedas. And Chaturvedi are all who have mastered all the four. In fact, mastered meaning they had to by heart. During those days, these families had to, the entire family put together, they should know all the Vedas. Every generation, all put together, should know all the Vedas by heart. Dvivedi, Trivedi and Chaturvedi. So we said, oh my God, Mr. Trivedi has come, so now I think he'll solve my current problem. And he happily invites him, come, come, come. And now Trivedi is like, why this person is so rejoiced seeing me coming in here? And anyway, he asks, okay, what are you doing? He says, first his name and then what are you doing? I'm doing this. Then what do you intend to do? I want to go back to India and I'll serve for I'll take up the job with the government and I'll be serving the country. Then after that what? He says, I'm going to get married since I'm a bachelor. After that what? Then I'll have a few kids at home. Then after that what? One day I'll retire. After that what? This fellow is getting puzzled. Why is he asking me all this? The stupid, all stereotype questions. And he gets fed up and Trivedi says, one day I'll die. No, Max Muller doesn't stop there. Then after that, what? So that put Trivedi to think actually. Friends, here the purpose is, if what all we are doing is for life, for living a life, a decent life, or a luxurious life, or whatever life you call it as, should we not ask the next question, then what is life for? If all that we are doing is for living a healthy, prosperous, colorful, wealthy, luxurious life, let's say that. Meaning it's like a complete life, no, for the worldly, for a bubukshu. Then what is life for? Now we all are answering that question. Then what is life for? The later part, or what Mr. Max Muller asked Trivedi, after death what? Have you thought about it? So only those rare, sensible, pious souls somehow get a chance to even think about this. See, in the same house, one could be listening and the other could not be listening. They could be two fast friends, but one is listening, the other one is not listening. Why? They are not fructified. Their punya or their good deeds have not fructified yet. As we have on a mango tree full of mangoes, one mango is ripe, the other one is still raw, the other one is still little small, another one is still smaller. So having come so far, one should be steadfast now. And what is that steadfastness? This samadhana, what we are talking about, is that steadfastness. You need to be completely focused, single pointed, absorbed, with concentration. A mind well placed. On what? On your goal. What is your goal? The feet of the Lord. I have seen life enough. I think you can say that to you. Is the life not taking you up and down, up and down, up and down? For a sensible person, that much is enough to understand what you can get from this life. There are things much higher. Make your plans for the higher worlds. So here Lord Sri Krishna says, the pursuit of this supreme knowledge becomes pleasant for one who maintains a balance or sense of proportion in performing every action. Think and do. Is this Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka? The first point. Think. Is this giving me something permanent or is this giving me something impermanent? Is this taking me one step closer to God or is it where I am or it is taking me behind? Who maintains a balance or sense of proportion in performing every action. So for this we need that focus or attention. Like when you're pouring, let's say you're pouring oil from one container to another smaller container. You're traveling somewhere, so you're carrying some oil, putting in that, which has a very narrow opening. There you can't be talking to somebody and pouring this oil, isn't it? Everything will fall down. What is your position there? You're first focused. And if somebody is talking to you, you won't even talk to them. Your focus is that dhara or that flow of oil goes straight into the other smaller bottle which you're holding. All such qualities, now what we have discussed, will make you an outstanding person in life. also, because imagine you have a focused mind, you have concentration on your senses, you have concentration on every aspect. Won't you be a better person even in the worldly life also? Now, if you take these instinctive powers, like about 1,000 years ago, there was no difference between a human and an animal in terms of that instinctive power. When you are hungry, you are hungry. You catch hold of anything, you tear it and you eat. 2,000 years ago, that was the situation. Then gradually the brain started developing in the human mind, and that instinctive behavior slowly mellowed down on human beings. Although it is an instinctive push for a human brain, but the brain could take a gap. It could be 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or even a few minutes. I had mentioned to you all about Daniel Goleman, who did extensive study on the Karma Yoga, which we'll be discussing in the next chapter, who wrote this emotional intelligence, and which was declared as one of the 25 most influential business management books by Time Magazine in 1995, and also by the New York bestsellers. Now, in his book, he talks about an experiment known as the marshmallows experiment, where we all know marshmallows, isn't it? Extremely attractive to the eyes, and also the moment you see it, your mouth starts watering. So 4-year kids, about 50 of them are called, and these marshmallows are placed over there in front of them. And no sooner the kids look at the marshmallows, some of them, they don't even ask who is in charge over here or whether I should ask permission or nothing. They just pounced on it. But well, the organizers, this was a study conducted basically. So the organizers asked, wait, we'll give you. Now, whoever wants it right away will get one, and whoever can take after 10 minutes, they will get two. That's all. That was what was told to them. Now here, some kids, they said, right now, even half is also fine. You know, they pounced and they grabbed and they took and they put it in their mouth and they ate. But there were some kids who, the moment they got the idea of two in their mind, what they said, it's not tomorrow or day after or in the evening or something, it's just 10 minutes. And they controlled themselves. Like some closed their eyes, some ran away outside, and some literally went and hid somewhere. Some said, I'm going to sleep now. Whatever they could, they primarily withdrew their senses. See, eyes is one which perturbs you, right? You look at it, you can't resist. So they closed their eyes. And it was smelling also. So they ran away outside. So likewise, a few students who ran away outside, they came back and they were given 2 marshmallows after 10 minutes. Now the study here conducted by this university was that whoever took 2, they were watched separately in live for about 18 years. And whoever took 1, they too were watched in terms of their career, their growth, their yearly performance, everything. And after 18 years, the report was all who took 1 by that instinctive jump, they were average, and surprisingly, all the ones which took 2 marshmallows after 10 minutes, they did exceedingly well in life. Now, friends, what do we understand here? What was there? It was only control of the mind and the senses, isn't it? What we learnt as the six wealths in our life. So, I'm trying to tell you that this is for now and for thereafter. It is like eat the cake and have it too, which you can't do, isn't it, normally? So here it is that in this world, right now, from the time you start this practice, it is going to take you higher and higher and higher in your worldly life. And it will also take you to much, much higher planes in terms of your life thereafter. Another example is about what did Ravana do as an adult? He heard of Sita's beauty, and he said, if her beauty is so remarkable, then I think she is fit to be in Lanka's palace, Sri Lanka's palace, and as Ravana's queen, because that was the kind of the richest place those days. And he went, and hook or crook, he picked her up and came. And what was his fate eventually? So he just fell as a prey to his senses, that's all. So senses and mind. Now as you move forward, why I'm elaborating on this is, see, just understanding the Gita, learning the Gita, knowing what the Gita is not going to make any difference to you. Unless and until you make yourself that I am going to get all these qualifications under control. These fourfold qualifications. As much as I can, I'm going to improve upon them. Then what happens is, whatever is taught in the Gita will automatically be a part of you. Once one lady, she asked, she was telling Sri Chinmayananda, Gurudev, she said, "Oh Gurudev, I have gone through the Gita 18 times," she said. 18 chapters, I have read all the 18 times. Oh, wonderful. Gurudev asked, how many times has Gita gone through you? There is no point in reading. You may read 100 times. You may know everything by heart. But how much have you put into practice? It is difficult, of course. Yes, everybody can't climb Mount Everest. The one who have that samadhana, who have that courage, only they can do it. So you have to move forward on that in terms of your keeping this samadhana in place. You have to keep developing. Now the fourth one is mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam is that intense desire for God realization. Once a student asks Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Maharaj, what is the meaning of mumukshutvam? He doesn't answer. That happens. It's not something very unusual. So the next day they both go to Ganges river, meaning these other students and as well as Sri Ramakrishna, they all go to Ganges river to take their morning bath after their rituals. So that time the student is next to Sri Ramakrishna, and they take that dubki, they hold their nose and they go inside. So he does that. He was doing that up and down, and suddenly he sees there is a hand on his head and not allowing him to come out. He is wriggling, he is putting all the effort to come up with all pressure, force, but he is not able to. And finally the hand is taken out and he comes out. Oof, he comes. Takes a deep breath and he sees who has done this. Sri Ramakrishna has done this to him. Maharaj, why did you do this to me? He says, that intense desire in you to take that one gasp of breath. How much was it? Oh, I would have died. He says, that should be the intensity of your desire for God. That strong it should be. It is not a casual affair. You have to invoke that within you. Meaning it has to be the topmost priority in one's life. Learn more, inculcate more, learn more, inculcate more. You will see. And you will see a lot of peace coming in immediately. The advantage is this. Have the cake and eat it too. You will be getting returns right from now and thereafter also. So here, now I'll tell you there are four types of mumukshutvam, meaning in terms of intensity. One is tivra, meaning as the name says, it is extreme. Second is madhyama, third is manda, and fourth is ati manda. Tivra is extreme, second madhyama mediocre, third manda poor, ati manda is extremely poor. Okay, what is the difference now? In tivra, possibility of getting moksha in this life only, high possibility. Madhyama, where a devotee, a sadhak, he gets onto this path for some time and then again he gets out and then again he comes in and then again he goes out. He's doing a now and then types. In such a person's life, the possibility is about 2 to 3 human lives. In manda, a person who says, no, this is not for me at this age, I think once I'm 60 plus, I'll think about it. Not now. I'm still young. I've got to see the world. I've got to enjoy so many things. For them, the Shastras say it is end of the yuga. I will explain what is yuga. And then for people who pay no heed to this, who also, apart from paying no heed, they also go to an extent saying, ye sab bakwas hai. They get moksha at the end of the kalpa, mahakalpa. Because eventually, as you know, there is a dissolution at the end of the cycle. And everybody becomes one with the Lord, and then again the evolution starts. That is the cycle of creation and the dissolution. So now let's understand how much by units of time is a yuga and a kalpa. See, we know how much is one's life, no? It can be 70, 80, 90, 100. Correct? And 2, 3 lives, meaning you don't know the next life whether you will get a human birth or not. Provided if you have serious on this path, then Lord Krishna says, I'll see that you are born in a family, which family, it's not family, it is family meaning you and the surroundings. There will be where you get the right, you get attracted to such people and then you're taken on that path. So that is where he says, I'll give you the right atmosphere for you to grow and develop in your next lives. And end of yuga, now I will understand yuga. There are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. Satya Yuga, which is known as a golden age, where there was truth age, 100% truthful, no diseases, there was no agriculture, no mining, no business, Nothing. Everybody was in meditation. Absolutely pious people and pious world. Satya Yuga, golden age, truth age. And there was only one religion, one God, no kings, no conquering, nothing. And for much more understanding, the age of that persons in that yuga was 1 lakh years. And the height was about 36 feet. And during that time, dhyana, meditation, was the way of reaching salvation, and nothing else. Rest were all at a very minuscule level. Second comes this was for 17,28,000 years. Next comes the Treta Yuga, which is the Silver Age, where 1/4 of adharma and 3/4 of dharma, already 1/4 has set in of adharma. As you can understand, there were already some segments of people establishing supremacy, agriculture, and business did come in. During that particular period, home havan was the prominent feature in terms of religious activity or spiritual activity. And the age of every person was 10,000 years, and in terms of a physical size, it was about 24 feet. 12,96,000 years of Treta Yuga. And okay, I'll mention about the avatars also. In the first avatars were for Satya Yuga, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and Narasimha avatars. And in the second Treta Yuga, and why it got the name as Treta Yuga was because there were 3 avatars: Vamana, Parashurama, and Sri Rama. Treta Yuga. 12,96,000 years. Third comes the Dwapara Yuga. And why it is called Dwapara? Because now it has crossed 2 yugas and 2 more yugas are yet to come. And the second, and that was the primary aspect for it being as called Dwapara. It was known as the Bronze Age. 50% Dharma, 50% Adharma. So more of the Silver Age in a higher gradient. There were already a lot of attacks, diseases. People were 50% not that faithful and honest. So that was for 8,64,000 human years. Average height then was about 12 feet. Now last we come to the Kali Yuga, which is known as the age of darkness, ignorance, and Iron Age. And here we have 2 avatars. One Buddha is already through, and Kalki will be at the end. The main form of worship in Dwapara Yuga was devotion, bhakti, that's all. In Kali, it is Nama Sankirtana, meaning japa. And here in Kali, you have only 25% of truth, 75% is all sorts of shadripus. Nothing really good. Now this is for 4,32,000 years. Here I'm coming to the point. Okay, here the average age is 100 years and the average height here is 5 feet 3 inches for Kali Yuga. And by the time the Kali Yuga ends, the average height of a person would be only 8 inches. There will be so much of shortage of food, and as they say, eventually like humans would eat humans. That kind of a worst situation will come in Kali Yuga. Now in this 4,32,000 years, we have only crossed 5,000 years. Now let's become sensible. What is the point of taking a rebirth in such a kind of a yuga? Why I gave all this elaboration was for that. One has to make up their mind. Oh my God, what after death? As Max Muller asked, what after death? You mean to say, I'm going to be born in such a hopeless age, which is going to go for 4,27,000 years? And this is one yuga, which amounts to one day of Brahman. Now, if you come under the fourth category, which is Ati Manda, where you don't care at all. At least, okay, after retirement you're doing so, you'll have to still wait for 4,27,000 years. But if you don't even do that, Mahakalpa is, it's difficult to understand, digest these numbers. This 43,20,000 years, all the four put together, is one yuga, which is one day of Brahma. Like this, 1,000 Mahayugas will become 1,000 Mahayugas into 100 years of Brahman. 1,000 Mahayugas, 1 year of Brahman, and 1,000 years of Brahma will become Mahakalpa. Meaning it is beyond calculation. We are thinking about 4,27,000, so this is of no relevance at all for us. This is the state. So one has to be very careful in understanding. I said no casual affair business here. Understand it properly, improve upon oneself, make your current life beautiful, fulfilling, enriching, and eventually reach the abode of the Lord. So with this we have finished all the four qualities. If you all have any questions, we can look at it after the meditation and make a firm resolution, not like the New Year resolution. And no, I'm stating all facts to you, whatever it is, and then we'll go to the Sthita Prajna Lakshana tomorrow, meaning how does a person of a stable mind, what are his qualities, how does he behave, what we could learn from him. So there you will get to understand what all qualities we have now spoken about over here. Those are all these qualities will be in him. So which means you as a sadhak, you are already getting qualified if you have all this to be a Sthita Prajna. And one who is Sthita Prajna is on his journey towards God. Okay, now let's sit comfortably. Yeah, Parul is saying yes. We are now in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, and we have Parul, we have crossed about 5,000 years. That's all. So as I told you, now 432, meaning you have 4,27,000 years to go, and it is all diminishing. As I said, there will be more and more of horror, terror, and people will be extremely unfair, rude. So you can imagine, it is hardly 1%. So you have to, the gradients will, out of 4,32,000 years is 5,000 years is hardly 1%. So it is like you are going into a much more horrible phase of the existence on this planet. Okay, come. All of you be comfortably seated wherever you all are. If any part of your body is aching, just adjust your body. Okay, Lata has put another question. Can I answer this after the meditation? Thank you. Whoever have questions, please post them. I'll answer them after the meditation. Keep your back, neck and head in a straight line. Erect but relaxed. Keep your face completely relaxed. Especially your forehead. Your eyes very gently closed. Now take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Now we are going to start the Pancha Kosha Viveka. One of the highest forms of meditation in terms of driving away ignorance. Talking about the Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka, the first qualification. Here we are trying to understand, differentiate what is that which is permanent and what is that which is impermanent. A person without this knowledge, as soon as he gets up in the morning, he will identify himself with the body and the mind. Once this knowledge is deep-rooted within you, you will get that thought of Shivoham, meaning I am that consciousness. That is where we have to reach from where we are. Now let's start looking into the nature of the 5 koshas which we have. Now slightly clench your fist and release them. You could see clearly for yourself that this is your body. Your body, which is impermanent, which has a borrowed existence, made of flesh, blood and bones. Can you see your body? Yes, I can see my body. Then it is an object. It is the scene. You are the seer. Label it the body. I am not that body. Let's go deeper. Then am I the pranas, the life forces within me? Can you see your breath? Going in and out your nostrils. Observe your breath at the tip of your nostrils. Yes, I can see the breath. The breath is an object to me. These life forces have no independent existence of their own. Label it the pranas. I am not the life forces. This is impermanent, anitya. Now let's dive deeper. Then am I the mind? Now let's examine. Can I see my mind? Yes, I can see my mind. A few hours ago, there were so many thoughts in my mind. I was so agitated at that time. Now I see my mind so peaceful, so relaxed. With hardly any thoughts. So mind too has no independent existence on its own. It's an object. It is impermanent and anitya. I am not the mind too. I am the seer, and the mind is the same. Let's go deeper. Then am I the intellect which governs the mind? Now let's examine whether we can see the intellect. What an intellect can do is it understands, it doesn't understand. Finds solutions, sometimes no solutions. It gets elated when somebody praises you. It gets angry when somebody talks ill of you. If these are the qualities of an intellect, then I've experienced all this. I have seen how my intellect gets angry, how it gets elated, how it understands at some point of time, and sometimes it doesn't understand. As a nursery student, I could not understand what is 10 into 10. As I grew up, I could understand what is 10 into 10. And more difficult problems as we further grow up. So this is that one person who is able to see all the changes in one's life at different points of time. This one person who is observing all the changes is the seer, and the rest are the seen. Now that I can see my intellect, I am not the intellect too. The intellect is impermanent. I have seen several shades of my intellect. It is anitya. It doesn't have any independent existence of its own. It lives on a borrowed existence. Then what am I? Who is that seer who has been seeing all these four koshas? Let's dive deeper. Here I experience a state of blankness. A state of no thoughts, completely in bliss. In ignorance of everything around. I can see this state of bliss which I do experience in my deep sleep state. Then this too is an object. This too is impermanent, keeps changing from time to time. Then who is that who is seeing this? Who is that who is responsible for all these five koshas to function from time to time? Which is that force which is enabling all these pancha koshas to operate? That seer, the drashta, is none other than the pure consciousness within you. The Chetana Shakti within you, the Chaitanya Shakti within you. The awareness within you. It is that which has been common all along your life. Permanent and nitya. It is because of which the body is operating, the pranas are operating, the mind is operating, the intellect is operating, and the bliss sheath is operating. You can experience this consciousness during any part of your waking state. If you want to experience it right now, just raise both your arms 6 inches from above, from wherever they are. Hold them in midair. And feel that energy in your arms. That awareness and energy which is predominant in your entire body is nitya, permanent, eternal, and your true nature. Once this consciousness leaves this body, then the whole body goes to dust. Slowly rub your palm, place them on your eyes. Gently and lovingly open your eyes. Okay, I'll take this question now of Lata. In the meantime, anybody has, please type or come on to the Q&A. I'll switch on the Q&A. So here, you were talking about why is this happening? What is the deterioration? See, it is not about the deterioration. It is about how a yuga or the four yugas are structured. As I mentioned to you that it starts with the Satya Yuga, and then slowly the 100% Satya Yuga, there is dharma, righteousness, goodness, truth, health, no diseases at all. And then as you come down slowly, 25% every yuga, it starts going down. And it goes from that 100% Satya Yuga status to 0.000% in the last phase of Kali Yuga. That is where I said, like, there's no food, there is so much of anger, slavery, defeat, all the cruel things what you can talk about is there during the end of Kali Yuga, and that's when the whole deterioration happens. So it goes to that point. So now, fortunately or unfortunately, we are there in the Kali Yuga. Now, after Kali Yuga, then again what happens? The whole creation is dissolved, and then each and every jiva again evolves, not straight into human beings in Satya Yuga. Yes, there will be a Satya Yuga again after Kali Yuga. But a human birth will happen after you have gone through each and every species of creation, and there are 84 lakh species. After you go through the cycle of the 84 lakh species, you get one chance as a human birth. So if Kali Yuga is over, you cross the 84 lakh species, and then you will get one chance as a human birth in Satya Yuga at that time. So this is how the creation and dissolution happens. Okay.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Yeah, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Suresh Gangoli.
Yes, Suresh, I could make out. Please tell me.
Huh?
Yeah.
This Chinmayanandaji's discourse, that lady said she had read Gita 18 times.
Yeah.
So
See,
then Guruji had responded saying, how many times did Gita enter you?
yeah, like it is this way. He says, I
So
have gone
maybe,
through the Gita 18 times.
huh,
So
how
what he
many times
meant
has
was, how many times
understood.
has Gita gone through? Meaning, what is that you
That
have implemented? Okay.
I have understood that. But
Okay.
wasn't she carrying her the water in her coal basket?
Meaning?
You remember in one of the previous discourses you had said that one of the gurus had told the Shishya to carry the water in the coal basket. Each and every time he kept on carrying it. Slowly the coal basket, she started cleaning up. So
Okay. Yes.
when
How
you read the Gita,
cane basket?
don't you
Okay.
start becoming a better person each time?
No, you become a better person. See, that is at a basic level for a kid, that your mind will get cleansed. The cleansing happens at different levels. We should understand that. For mind cleansing, it is okay. But now the question is, for an old lady who is already in her late 60s, now she can't just keep cleansing her mind. No, she has to, with the right qualities, she has to start doing intense meditation and be in that state of consciousness. You can't just keep your mind clean. Okay, your mind clean, you're a sattvic person, you're a good person, you're a kind person, compassionate. But where is that knowledge which has gone into your head? Are you established in that knowledge? See, finally, why are we talking about the senses and the mind is eventually to be established in that knowledge. Now we'll be coming to all those parts now in Sthita Prajna Lakshana and in Karma Yoga also. How you progress. Yeah, that's a good analogy what you spoke. It's a good question. But this is where it stands. You just can't. It is like your own.
To show progress.
No, you have your own very good, neat, crisp clothes, and you're sitting at home. What is the point? After having own clothes, if you go out, it makes sense, no? Otherwise, to sit at home, you don't need to have these crisp clothes.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Okay. Hari Om. And okay, now, yeah, Sonali, yes, it is really scary. So I was just trying to make that point so that we should understand what is ahead of us. And Mrs. Sheila, she talks about how many Kaliyugs have passed earlier. Several, innumerable. Yugas, 4 yugas together. So in every yuga there will be one Kali.
VALLI.
Worldly.
What is that?
Nothing.
Okay. So Kali Yuga is, there have been several, innumerable. Because from time immemorial, the worlds have been created and then again dissolved, again created, dissolved. It's going on. Yeah. Any more questions, please? Okay, we'll end our session here. Let's say Purnamada together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Shri Krishnarpanamastu. We beseech in the Lord that the challenge ahead of us is really great. Without his blessings, we would not be able to achieve anything. He has to come as a miracle in our lives and make this happen for us. Our Sastanga pranams to the entire Guru Parampara to bless us too. Hari Om.